Hi there, everyone. Meteorologist Robert Spetty here with you on today, the 14th, going into the 15th of October, 2013. We are continuing to watch Typhoon, or locally known as Nari, continuing to track off here towards the west. Already near landfall, and we are already seeing some reports of tropical storm strength winds near coastal areas. That is including the Nang and Hue Vietnam, low-lying coastal regions just ahead of the storm system. In microwave imagery of this storm system just prior to landfall, still showing a decently developed eye. The bulk of the convection still in the southern periphery, but that eye wall is continuing to attempt to set up, and we're already starting to see these outer rain bands come ashore. So that is the imagery here, and is reflected on the RSMC forecast here with 75 gusting up to 105 knot wind. So pressure rate at 965 HPA. Storm's moving west-northwest at about 15 kilometers per hour, so moving at a fairly decent pace. But as it does come on shore here, it's going to be packing these fairly strong winds during the early morning hours and possibly even before sunrise. And every time we talk about a nighttime storm system, that just makes these that much more dangerous. Main reason is you're not able to see any light debris flying around out here if you are outside during these nighttime storms. Also unable to judge how deep flooded areas are. I mean, it's hard enough during the day, but at nighttime, definitely that much harder. So, yeah, we're going to continue to watch the storm system through the early morning hours. We know that there's that river that runs right through the heart of Da Nang, Vietnam out here, and there's a very high risk of that actually being flooded, not just because of the heavy rainfall coming from the storm system, but also because of that storm surge that's going to be pushing a lot of this water upriver. So coastal flooding, like I said, is going to be a main risk. But the rainfall, though, is not something to be discounted. As this storm continues to track farther west, it is going to be encountering the mountains here across western portions of Vietnam and also over towards Laos. That's going to squeeze out all that moisture. And even extending as far north as Nang Hue, we're looking at a very serious risk of flooding and also landslides as the storm tracks off there towards the west. Then we can see northern portions of Cambodia and eastern Vietnam. If you remember when Cyclone Pylon was first developing and it was actually impacting Thailand, you do not need any more rainfall there. There was numerous deaths reported from that. It does look like, unfortunately, the storm's going to spill that moisture over there towards the west to bring in rainfall with that. Now, by the time it gets over there, winds are going to be dramatically decreased. It will not be a typhoon or a tropical system by any means at that time, but it will be a big mass of some heavy rainfall. So the main risk, I think, with this is those coastal areas in the cities, and this is really going to be having the right front quadrant there on Da Nang, Vietnam. So a very serious risk of some flooding there. Also those damaging winds knocking down some unsecure structures, but also that rainfall spilling over towards the west. Of course, we're going to continue to monitor the storm system. Also continuing to monitor Typhoon Wipa, which is still tracking off towards the north. A very serious risk of some damaging winds and heavy rainfall across much of central Japan going into Tuesday and Wednesday. And also, I want you to click the annotation on the screen if you don't mind, because James Reynolds did some pretty good journalism out there in the Philippines following Typhoon Nari and its impact on Luzon here on Friday and the Saturday. He really got there and actually has some pretty scary stories from some of the residents there in eastern and central Luzon, and some people just whose homes were completely blown away. So please do go check that out. Stay safe out there, everybody.